The day I caught my husband, Liam, cheating with his childhood sweetheart, Chloe, I won $8 million in the lottery. Maggie cackled that Chloe was blessed with a fertile womb, and Liam told me to accept my fate and help raise the child. I bowed my head to hide the lottery-winning text, whispering softly, "All right." On the day we divorced, I went live on TikTok and donated every cent of the $8 million to charity. My ex-husband screamed for a reconciliation, and I slammed a paternity test on the table. The grandson your mother dotes on is your boss's bastard. The room went dead, silent. He completely lost his mind.
Claire, what's wrong with you? 5 years of marriage, and you can't give me a single child.
Maggie Hayes flung a prenatal checkup report in my face. Spread across the living room coffee table were intimate photos of Liam and Chloe, huddled together outside an obstetrics and gynecology clinic, dated 3 months prior. Scrawled on the back, 12 weeks pregnant, baby is healthy. I squeezed the thin paper so tight my knuckles turned white. Mom, Liam's been saying he's working late these months. He's been at prenatal appointments with another woman. Maggie scoffed, picking up the photo to stare at it, a grin spreading across her face. Chloe's got a lucky womb. Claire, let's be real. If you can't have kids, you can't blame Liam for finding someone to carry on the family name. My phone vibrated. A bank alert popped up. Your account ending in 8,818 has been credited $8 million. Current balance, $8,002,147.36. The Powerball ticket I bought 3 months ago had finally paid out. I ducked my head to hide my expression as Maggie rambled on. If you know what's good for you, you'll keep catering to Liam. When his son is born, you help raise him, and you'll still have a roof over your head. The front door unlocked. Liam walked in with his briefcase, paled when he saw the photos on the table. Claire, you went through my stuff? I held up the photo. Chloe's pregnant. Is it yours? Liam fell silent for 3 seconds, then dropped the act entirely. So what if it is? Claire, go get yourself checked. Can your uterus even function anymore? The Hayes family can't die out. Maggie cut in. Exactly. Chloe's family is rich. She's well educated. She's better than you in every way. If Liam hadn't been foolish enough to marry you back then, you begged me on your knees to marry him. I interrupted. You said your family was too poor for a dowry, that Liam had no savings fresh out of work, that you'd treat me like your own daughter. Liam waved a hand impatiently. Who cares about old history? The truth is, Chloe's carrying my son, and you need to accept it. The truth was, I just won $8 million, and this mother and son had no idea. I put my phone away. Liam, let's get a divorce. Maggie shrieked with laughter. Divorce? A 30-year-old barren woman who'd want you after divorce. No family to go back to. A dead-end job. You'd starve without Liam. Liam was calmer. Claire, don't be rash. Here's the deal. We stay married. You move to the guest room. Chloe will move in after the baby's born, and you help take care of her. I'll cover all household bills. You keep your salary. Deal? He spoke like he was doing me a favor. I stared at the chestnut hair stuck to his suit cuff. Chloe's natural color. Liam, last week, you said you were on a business trip. You were at Chloe's prenatal checkup, weren't you? The week before, you said you had a company team-building trip. You took her to Hawaii for vacation. And last month. Shut up. Liam flew into a rage. Claire, don't push your luck. This house is my premarital property. You'll get nothing if we divorce. Think carefully. Maggie chimed in, right? Be obedient, and Chloe's kid might even call you auntie. Otherwise, get back to your tiny rental apartment. My old rental, the $800 a month studio I gave up when I married Liam 5 years ago. Now, I had $8 million in my bank account. I stood up slowly. Fine, I've made up my mind. The two of them broke into triumphant smiles. I walked into the bedroom, locked the door, and opened my laptop. 3 months of investigation evidence was stored on the hard drive. Liam's hotel records, transfer screenshots to Chloe, pregnancy photos of the pair, photos of Maggie shopping with Chloe's mother, even proof of Liam embezzling from his company. I sorted and dated every file one by one. From outside the door, Maggie yelled, Claire, get out here and cook. Liam's hungry. I hit save. The next day, Liam stared at his phone, scrolling through Chloe's ultrasound photos. I dried my hands. Mom, I'm working late tonight. Won't be home for dinner. Maggie's eyes narrowed instantly. Working late? What urgent work could you have at that pathetic job? Chloe's coming over for dinner. You need to stay and wait on her. Chloe's coming over? I looked at Liam. He didn't even glance up. Chloe's got bad morning sickness. She craves braised pork. Leave work early to help. I'm not feeling well. I'm going to the hospital. I grabbed my bag and left. The second the door closed, I heard Maggie scoff. Acting sick, barren women are just delicate. In the community hospital hallway, I sat on a bench with my registration slip. At my checkup 3 months prior, the doctor had pulled me aside, privately. Miss Bennett, you have old damage to your uterine lining, consistent with long-term use of certain medications. I didn't understand then, until I found an unlabeled bottle of pills deep in Liam's study drawer. I sent a pill for testing. The results came back today. Mifepristone, a drug that causes permanent infertility with long-term use. The test report included purchase records. Liam had bought it with his health insurance card, starting the 2nd month of our marriage, for 2 full years. For 2 years, the fertility supplements he'd lovingly brought me every night were actually sterilization drugs. After leaving the hospital, I went to a law firm. Attorney Wilson. I want a divorce, but my husband may be hiding assets. What should I do? Attorney Wilson adjusted his glasses. First, gather evidence, especially financial records. What's your husband's income? $20,000 a month, but he's been saying the company is struggling. Most household bills are paid with my salary. Marital income is joint property. You can petition to audit all his accounts. Attorney Wilson paused. Ms. Bennett, you look unwell. Do you need assistance? I shook my head and went home. That night, I locked myself in my room, logged into an unused TikTok alt account, and posted my first video. 5 years married. My husband drugged me to make me infertile, cheated on me with his childhood sweetheart. She's 4 months, pregnant. I just won $8 million. What should I do? I refreshed, and comments flooded in. Girl, run. Don't tell them about the money. Collect evidence and sue him for intentional harm. $8 million to live your best life alone. Why not? I read every comment. Then a private message popped up. An account named Women's Aid Foundation messaged me. We provide free legal aid for women in need. Contact us if you require help. I replied, thank you. Not right now. Then I began organizing my evidence chain. The drug test report, purchase records, intimate photos of Liam and Chloe, audio of Maggie pressuring me for a baby, bank statements showing Liam transferring $2,000 a month to Chloe. It was 2 a.m. when I finished, and Liam still hadn't come home. I got up to get water, past Maggie's room, and heard her on the phone. Don't worry, that fool has no clue. Liam says we'll divorce her once the payout from her mom's old property comes through. Chloe, don't stress. You're the only daughter-in-law I recognize. I quietly backed away. Property eminent domain payout. The old factory my mom left me had been listed for eminent domain last year, valued at around $3 million. So they'd been waiting for that. I opened my banking app, stared at the $8 million balance, and a plan formed. The next day, I applied to my company for a 3-month transfer to a rural project site. My manager was shocked. Claire, that site is remote. The conditions are terrible. Why? I want to challenge myself. I handed in the application. Just pay me the standard per diem. My manager hesitated as he signed. Is everything okay at home? Perfect. I smiled. I just need some peace. As I packed my bags, Maggie pretended to be concerned. You're really leaving for work? What about the house? Liam's capable enough. I stuffed the last piece of clothing into my suitcase. Mom, take good care of Chloe while I'm gone. She's carrying your grandson, after all. Maggie's face fell. You knew. You threw the photos in my face. How could I not know? I zipped up the suitcase. Oh, and while I'm gone, my salary will go to a new bank card. I'll leave this old one with $500 for household expenses. I set a debit card with a $500 balance on the coffee table. Maggie's eyes lit up, even as she said, that's not necessary. It's the least I can do. We're family. I dragged my suitcase out the door. At the mountain project site, I bent over blueprints when my phone lit up with a text from Liam. Why is there only $500 in the salary card? What are you playing at? I replied. Per diem hasn't been processed yet. Use your mom's pension for now. Liam didn't reply. The next day, Maggie blew up my phone. Claire, what's the meaning of this? $500 won't cover anything. Chloe's prenatal appointment alone costs $2,000. I stood on a mountaintop. Spotty signal. Mom, I can't hear you. Bad reception here. I hung up and blocked her. That night, connected to Wi-Fi, I had 99 plus unread messages. Liam's last text, Claire, send money now, or you'll regret it. I took a screenshot, then opened my TikTok alt account. 3 months, 30,000 followers, hundreds of comments on every post. Today, I uploaded a photo of a rural elementary school, cracked walls, broken desks, and chairs. Caption, saw these kids on my work trip. Want to do something for them. A comment asked, what are you doing with the $8 million you mentioned? I replied, still deciding. A minute later, Women's Aid Foundation messaged me. Our foundation is building a rural girls scholarship program. We'd love to discuss if you're interested. I opened their official registration documents, a registered nonprofit dedicated to helping women and children in crisis. Can I donate anonymously? Yes, we protect all donors' privacy. Great, I'll contact you when I'm back. I closed my laptop and lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. A month later, I took a day off to return to the city and went straight to the law firm. Attorney Wilson pushed a stack of documents across the table. We've finished auditing your husband's accounts. He has 2 secret accounts, one with $800,000. The other with regular deposits from his company's client, funds. Embezzlement? It appears so. Total over $500,000. Attorney Wilson's expression was grave. Ms. Bennett, your husband is in serious legal trouble. I flipped through the statements and saw Liam's transfers to Chloe had spiked in the last 3 months, $200,000 in one lump sum a week prior. What's that $200,000 for? Attorney Wilson pulled up the record. The recipient account is for a luxury postpartum center, down payment. I laughed. He's really thought of everything. Also, about your mother's property eminent domain. Attorney Wilson took out another document. The official notice has been issued. Assessed value, $3.2 million. Your husband went to the eminent domain office last week, claiming to be your spouse. What do you need me to do? Draft a divorce agreement, I said. Asset division. All marital debt goes to Liam. My personal assets are separate from his. Attorney Wilson raised an eyebrow. Are you sure? Legally, marital income is joint property. It won't be for long. I checked my watch. Attorney Wilson, if I donate all my personal assets, what paperwork do I need? Donation is a personal decision. No spousal consent required if the funds are legal. Attorney Wilson paused. I stood up. I'll sign the agreement next week. After leaving the law firm, I bought a new outfit at the mall. Passing a baby store, I saw Chloe picking out a crib, Liam beside her. I lifted my phone and took a photo. Chloe saw me and immediately hid behind Liam. Liam's face turned livid, striding over. Claire, are you stalking us? I put my phone away, just passing by. Liam, does your company know about the embezzlement? He froze instantly. You're lying. $800,000 in secret savings, $500,000 in client funds. I stated the numbers clearly. How many years do you think you'll get if I report this? Liam grabbed my wrist. Claire, you wouldn't dare. I said calmly, let go. There are cameras everywhere. He gritted his teeth and let go, lowering his voice. What do you want? I said, divorce. The house is yours. The debt is yours. Chloe is yours. I walk away with nothing. Liam was suspicious. You'd really give up everything. What else can I do? I forced a sad smile. Liam, I'm tired. 5 years of this, I've had enough. His expression softened, his tone gentle. Claire, I still have feelings for you. It's just, Chloe's pregnant. I have to take responsibility. No need to explain. I interrupted. I'll send you the agreement. Sign it, and we're done. I turned to leave, and Chloe ran after me. Ms. Bennett, don't blame Liam. It's all my fault. I turned to look at her. Chloe, do you know why Liam married me? She froze. Because my mom's property was going to get a huge eminent domain payout. I smiled. Now he's divorcing me to marry you. Do you think it's love? Or because your dad's a former deputy tax commissioner who can cover his crimes? Chloe's face drained of color. Liam roared, Claire, what are you doing? I waved and stepped into the elevator. The doors closed and I could still hear Liam frantically explaining, Chloe, don't listen to her. I love you. Back at the project site, Liam texted to agree to the divorce, but demanded I sign a waiver for the eminent domain payout. I replied, fine, but you have to write a statement admitting you cheated and got another woman pregnant. He called me crazy. 3 days later, he caved. I'll write the statement, but you have to change the wording. How? Just say we split up amicably due to irreconcilable differences. I laughed. Liam, do you think I'm an idiot? I blocked him and turned off my phone. A week later, my project manager called me in. Claire, corporate is transferring you back. Said it's an important assignment. I knew Liam had pulled strings. Back at the office, my manager looked uncomfortable. Claire, Liam's uncle is a vice president at our parent company. He called and said you have a bad work attitude. We have to let you go. For what reason? Unexcused absences, negligence, talking back to supervisors. My manager sighed. I know you're not like this, but the pressure from above is too much. I resign, I said. My manager stared. What? I'll finish the paperwork today. Get my final pay. I stood up. Also, please write me a work performance certificate. Truthful. Please. My manager nodded. Of course. Walking out of the office building, I turned on my phone. Dozens of missed calls from Liam and Maggie. The latest text. Claire, if you don't come back to sign, I'll file for divorce in court. You'll get nothing then. I replied, County Clerk's Office, 2 p.m. tomorrow. Then I texted Attorney Wilson. Is the agreement ready? Ready. As you requested, you waive all assets. He takes all debt. No financial disputes. Add one more clause. Liam voluntarily pays me $1 in emotional distress compensation. Attorney Wilson laughed. Done. That night, I went to the Women's Aid Foundation. A middle-aged woman, Director Sue, greeted me. Ms. Bennett, are you sure you want to donate the full $8 million? Positive. I pulled out my bank card. But 2 conditions. Go on. First, every cent must go to helping women and children trapped in abusive or broken marriages. That's exactly our mission. Second, 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, I want a live donation ceremony on TikTok. You'll send representatives to sign the agreement and process the transfer on camera. Director Sue shook my hand. Miss Bennett, thank you. The next day at 2 p.m. outside the county clerk's office, Liam arrived with Chloe. Maggie was there too, yelling as soon as she saw me. Jinx, you took forever to agree to divorce. I ignored her and handed Liam the agreement. Sign it. Liam read it 3 times, especially the asset division clause, and sighed in relief when he confirmed I was giving up everything. Claire, I never wanted things to end like this. Just sign, I repeated. He scowled and signed his name. Walking out of the clerk's office, Maggie said loudly on purpose, Liam, Chloe, let's go celebrate. Mom's treating us to a fancy dinner. Chloe linked arms with Liam, smiling sweetly. Thanks, Mom. I turned to leave and Liam called after me. Claire, when will you sign the eminent domain payout waiver? I nodded at the coffee shop next door. Now, let's sign it. There, in the corner of the coffee shop, I laid out the pre-prepared waiver. Liam checked it carefully, beaming with joy when he confirmed it was valid. Smart choice. He signed and tossed the pen down. We go our separate ways now. Don't bother us again. Wait, I said. One more thing. I opened my TikTok live stream, pointing the camera at them. Everyone, meet my ex-husband, Liam Hayes. Cheated on his wife, got his childhood sweetheart pregnant. This is his mother, Maggie Hayes. Insulted me for 5 years, enabled her son's infidelity. This is the mistress, Chloe Carter. Broke up a marriage while pregnant. Viewer count skyrocketed, passing 10,000 in seconds. Liam's face turned pale. Claire, what are you doing? Maggie lunged for my phone. I stepped aside. Director Sue and 2 foundation staff arrived just in time and sat beside me. Everyone watching, I'm Director Sue of the Women's Aid Foundation. Today, Miss Claire Bennett is donating $8 million to our foundation to support women and children harmed by abusive marriages. I set the bank card on the table. Liam's eyes widened in shock. $8 million. What? $8 million. Lottery winnings. I smiled at the camera. 5 years of marriage. My ex-husband drugged me to make me infertile, cheated and got another woman pregnant. Maggie said men cheating is normal, and the money should go to raising his kid. Today, in front of millions of viewers, I'm donating every cent of this $8 million. I won't keep a single dollar for this trash family. On the live stream, Liam's face twisted from shock to rage in a second. $8 million? You won $8 million? He shot up, knocking his chair over. Claire, you bastard. You tricked me. Maggie lunged straight for the bank card. That's our money. You can't donate it. Foundation staff blocked her. TikTok comments exploded. Holy shit. $8 million donated. Queen shit. Trash husband's face is green LMAO. Drugged to make her infertile? That's intentional harm. Call the cops. Mistress is pregnant? Disgusting. Chloe clutched her stomach, pale as a sheet. Liam, is it true what she said? Liam ignored her, staring daggers at me. Claire, get that money back. It's marital property. You have no right to donate it. I turned to the camera. Under California law, lottery winnings are marital property only if earned during a harmonious marriage. I won this money after discovering Liam's infidelity and the drugging that left me infertile. More importantly, I held up a notarized document. The day I won, I filed a property separation affidavit with the court. This $8 million is legally my sole personal asset. Liam, want to check the notarization date? I held up the document. The date clear as day, 3 months prior, the exact day I found the photos. Liam trembled all over. You planned this all along. You forced my hand. I put the document away. 5 years of marriage. You drugged me to ruin my body. Cheated and got another woman pregnant. Your mother insulted me for being childless. Liam, I won't give you a single cent of this $8 million. Director Sue spoke up. Ms. Bennett, let's sign the donation agreement now. I signed and pressed my fingerprint to the agreement. A staff member processed the transfer live, and the bank confirmation popped up on the screen. Transfer successful. Amount $8 million. Viewer count hit 500,000, trending #1 on TikTok. Liam collapsed into his chair, empty-eyed. Maggie wailed loudly. My money. $8 million. Claire, you bitch. You'll pay for this. Chloe suddenly clutched her stomach. Liam, my stomach hurts. Liam snapped back to his senses, staring at Chloe's belly. Hope reigniting in his eyes. Right, I still have my son. Claire, you're barren. I have a son to carry on my family name. I laughed. Liam, do you really think Chloe's baby is yours? The entire shop went dead, silent. Chloe screamed, You're lying. I opened my phone and cast it to the coffee shop television. It was security camera footage from 5 months prior, a hotel hallway. Chloe was linked arm in arm with a bald, middle-aged man, walking into a room. They didn't come out for 3 hours. The man's face was clear. Mr. Wallace, 56, Liam's boss. Liam stared at the screen, dumbfounded. When was this? The week you were on your business trip, I said slowly. Chloe told you she was staying with her friend. She was with Mr. Wallace. Oh, and remember last month when Chloe said she wanted a house in a good school district and asked you for $500,000? Liam nodded numbly. That house is in Mr. Wallace's name. I pulled up the property record, screenshot. Liam, you're a cuckold. Chloe broke down crying. It's not true. Liam, listen to me. I was drunk that night. He forced me. Once is force. What about twice, 3 times? I pulled up more records. Want me to read the hotel list from Mr. Wallace's assistant? 12 times in 6 months. Maggie rushed over and slapped Chloe. You whore. You lied to my son. You're carrying a bastard and calling it my grandson. Chloe screamed, and the scene spiraled out of control. Viewer count hit 1 million. TikTok server lagged multiple times. I stood up. Liam, you signed the divorce agreement and the eminent domain waiver. From today on, we're nothing to each other. Oh, and one more thing. I turned back at the door. I sent the evidence of your $500,000 embezzlement to the district attorney's office. Good luck. Liam looked like he'd been struck by lightning. The live stream cut to black, but the internet exploded. Number 8. Million donated no money for cheater. Drugged Infertility, cheating husband. APEC cuckold reveal. My phone blew up with media requests, fan messages, legal aid invites. I muted everything and texted Attorney Wilson. You can sue Liam for intentional harm now. 3 minutes later, Attorney Wilson replied, evidence submitted to police. Case opened. I turned off my phone and walked out of the coffee shop. Liam was arrested 3 days later. He was throwing a fit at home when police arrived. Devastated the baby wasn't his. Chloe had run off with his last $200,000, and Maggie was hospitalized. Liam Hayes, you're under arrest for embezzlement. Maggie rushed back from the hospital, kneeling at the police station door, wailing, My son is innocent. That bitch Claire framed him. Passers-by recognized her and posted videos online. This is the evil mother-in-law who called her daughter-in-law barren. Comments were full of mockery. Karma. Deserves it. Support Claire. I moved back into my mom's old factory, the eminent domain payout imminent, but I didn't plan on keeping it. Attorney Wilson contacted the eminent domain office and explained the situation. Since Liam had signed the waiver and was facing criminal charges, the payout would go directly to me. Donating it again? Attorney Wilson asked. Keep $500,000. Donate the rest to women's legal aid, I said. That $500K is compensation for the physical harm Liam caused by drugging me. I earned it. Attorney Wilson finished the paperwork in 3 days. I met Director Sue once. The foundation used the $8 million to set up the Claire's Hope Fund. It first helped 20 abused women and 10 abandoned children. Media coverage turned my story into a viral article with 10 million reads. Some accused me of clout chasing, but most supported me. Liam was released on bail and came to find me. I opened the door and let him in. He stared at the shabby furniture, stunned. You live here? Where else? The house is yours now. I poured him a glass of water. What do you want? Chloe had an abortion. Liam's voice was hoarse. She admitted the baby was Wallace's, took my $200,000 and disappeared. My mom's in the hospital with high blood pressure, $2,000 a day in medical bills. He stared at me. Claire, I'm sorry. Let's get back together. I'll treat you right. I laughed. Liam, you lost your job. Your house payment is $8,000 a month. Your mom's hospital bills are piling up, and now you want me back? His face flushed red. We were married for 5 years. Did you think about that when you drugged me to make me sterile? I interrupted. When you took Chloe to prenatal appointments. When your mom called me barren? Liam had no words. Liam, I saw you today to tell you 2 things. I set down the glass. First, I sued you for intentional harm. The court has opened the case. The drugging left you with second-degree minor injuries. You face up to 3 years in prison. He flinched. Second, I got the eminent domain payout, $2.8 million. Donated $2.3 million. Kept $500K as compensation. I looked at him. If you harass me again, I'll use that $500K to hire the best lawyers and put you in prison for life. Liam's eyes turned red. Claire, are you really that cruel? I sneered. You ruined my life. This is nothing compared to that. He finally slammed the door and left. The next day, Maggie dragged herself out of the hospital to cause trouble, rolling around at my door, screaming. I called the police immediately. Officers arrived to mediate. Maggie cried. My son lost his job. He's going to jail. This evil woman framed him. The police reviewed my evidence, the drug report, cheating photos, audio of her insults. They turned to Maggie. Ma'am, your son committed a crime. This young woman is the victim. If you keep causing trouble, we'll charge you with disturbing the peace. Maggie was stunned. I said to all the neighbors, I'm divorced from Liam Hayes. We're strangers now. If they harass me again, I'll take legal action. A neighbor lady spoke up. Claire, we've all seen your story online. Good riddance to that family. Thank you. I closed the door. A week later, the Women's Aid Foundation invited me to be their anti-domestic violence ambassador. At my first event, a young girl raised her hand. Miss Claire, how did you find the courage to fight back? I thought for a moment. When you realize backing down isn't peace, it's a cliff. After the event, Director Sue found me. Horizon Group wants to sponsor our program, and they specifically asked to meet you. The owner's last name is Joe. He's in building materials. I almost declined, but froze when I heard Horizon. It was the company my mom had worked for. We met at a tea house. I pushed the door open and saw Mr. Joe, my mom's old apprentice. Claire, do you remember me? He stood up, energetic in his 50s. Uncle Joe, I was shocked. You're the chairman of Horizon Group. Chairman? Mr. Joe smiled. Your mom was my mentor. I never would have made it without her teaching me everything. I sat down, at a loss for words. Mr. Joe poured me tea. I know everything that happened to you. Your mom would be heartbroken if she saw you go through this. My eyes stung. I asked to meet you today for 2 things, Mr. Joe said. First, Horizon will donate $500,000 a year to the Women's Aid Foundation for 10 years. The condition is you lead the program as our supervisor. You've lived through this. You know what these women need and how to help them. Mr. Joe said seriously. The job pays $300,000 a year. Will you take it? I hesitated. Uncle Joe, you don't have to. This isn't charity. He shook his head. The foundation needs an experienced program lead. You're perfect for it. What's the second thing? Mr. Zhu's face turned solemn. Your mom's accident 10 years ago. It wasn't an accident. My hand shook, spilling tea. My mom was a structural engineer. She died instantly when scaffolding collapsed at a construction site 10 years prior. The official report said equipment aging, improper operation. The site owner paid $200,000 and closed the case. I've been investigating for 10 years. Mr. Zhou lowered his voice. The scaffolding purchase order was fake. The supplier was a shell company, and the real owner. He paused. It's Carter. I shot up. Chloe's family? Chloe's father, Arthur Carter, Mr. Zhou said. He was a urban construction supervisor back then, in charge of material approval. He signed off on that shoddy scaffolding. Why are you telling me this now? No evidence. Mr. Zhu smiled bitterly. I searched for 10 years and finally got a break last month. Arthur Carter was arrested for bribery. He confessed to old crimes during questioning, including my mom's death. He called it an accident, but admitted taking bribes to approve substandard materials. Mr. Joe looked at me. Claire, if you want justice, now is the time. Uncle Joe, what do I need to do? I'll get the lawyers. I'll provide the evidence, Mr. Joe said. You just have to say yes. I nodded. Walking out of the tea house, my phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. Claire, it's Chloe. I need to see you. I replied, no need. I know what really happened to your mom. 3 p.m. tomorrow, the same coffee shop. I stared at the screen, then replied, fine. The next day, I arrived early and sat by the window. Chloe showed up on time, much thinner, pale and haggard. You really had an abortion? I asked. She forced a smile. I did. Wallace's wife found out, gave me $500,000 to leave town. I used Liam's $200,000 to pay off my loans. Why did you ask to see me? Chloe took a deep breath. My dad's in jail. My mom's disowning me. Claire, I have nowhere to go. So what? I want to make a deal. She stared at me. I know the truth about your mom's death. I'll tell you. You lend me $100,000 and I'll disappear forever. I laughed. Chloe, why would I trust you? Because I hate my dad. She teared up. He used me his whole life. Told me to get close to Liam for company info, to sleep with Wallace for projects. My mom knew and did nothing. Your mom yelled at me at my door yesterday. That was for my dad's sake. Chloe shook her head. Claire, I'm not a good person, but I never wanted anyone dead. My dad got drunk once and told me. She lowered her voice. He sabotaged the scaffolding on purpose. Your mom found the bad materials and was going to report him. My blood ran cold. Why? The supplier paid $3 million. My dad took $1 million. Chloe smiled bitterly. $1 million, and he killed an innocent person. Where's the evidence? There's an old phone in my dad's study with recorded calls. Chloe gave me an address and password. The safe is behind the bookshelf. Password is my birthday, 960,315. I looked at her. Why tell me now? I'm scared. Chloe cried. My dad's never getting out of jail. I'm afraid his enemies will come after me. Claire, give me $100,000 and I'll never come back. She handed me a note. I transferred the money right away. $100,000 to buy your silence. If you show up again, I'll charge you with extortion. Chloe stared at the transfer alert, laughing bitterly. Don't worry, I never want to come back to this hellhole. I sat there for a long time, then called Mr. Joe. Uncle Joe, I found the evidence. Arthur Carter's case was reopened, shocking the entire city. The old phone held clear audio of him talking to the supplier. Mabel won't stop digging. We have to silence her, forever. Don't worry, I tampered with the scaffolding. It'll collapse the second someone steps on it. A month later, the trial. I sat in the plaintiff's seat, staring at Arthur Carter, once a proud senior official. The judge read the verdict. Defendant Arthur Carter, guilty of bribery and first-degree murder. Life imprisonment, permanent deprivation of political rights. Chloe's mother fainted in the gallery. Liam was also there, testifying as a witness. Arthur Carter had used him to steal company bids. He provided evidence and got a suspended sentence. After the verdict, he blocked me at the courthouse door. Claire, I cooperated with the authorities. 3 years suspended. He forced a smile. We can start over, right? I looked at him. Liam, your mom died last week. Brain hemorrhage, found dead in her rental apartment. I said, calmly, the landlord called you. You had your phone off, so he called me. I went over, handled the funeral, cremated her. Her ashes are at the funeral home. Liam's eyes filled with tears. Why didn't you? Someone had to take care of her. I looked at him. Liam, the worst thing your mom ever did was raise you to be a selfish, useless coward. She raised you alone after your dad died. It was hard, but that's no excuse to hurt people. Liam squatted on the ground, wailing loudly. I didn't look back, just walked away. Mr. Zhu's car was waiting. Where to? He asked. Foundation, I said. There's a support group for abused women this afternoon. As the car drove off, Mr. Zhou said, Horizon set up the Mabel Fang Engineering Scholarship for poor girls studying architecture. Your mom's name will never be forgotten. Thank you. Also, the foundation got you an assistant. Fresh grad, sharp girl. Mr. Zhou smiled. Claire, do your best. Your mom's watching over you. I looked out the window. My phone rang. Director Sue. Claire, the support group is rescheduled to 3 p.m. One more thing. Director Sue sounded happy. A girl we helped got into college. She wants to meet you and say thank you. Great. I'll be there early. I hung up and opened TikTok. My alt account hadn't been updated in 3 months. The last post was a screenshot of the donation live stream. A new comment. Miss Claire, my husband cheated too. Your story made me decide to divorce. I replied, you've got this. You deserve better. Then I posted one last update. I once thought marriage was a safe harbor. Now I know. Some people only bring storms. Leave the wrong people, and you'll find the right path. Women supporting women is the real safe harbor. Thank you to everyone who stood by me. From now on, I'll focus on charity and helping more sisters out of the dark. This account will be inactive. I'm moving forward. I hit post. My phone vibrated, a bank alert. Your account ending in 8,818 received a salary transfer of $30,000 from Women's Aid Foundation. Current balance, $53,217.42. I smiled and walked into the foundation building. Outside the window, the city bustled. Life was long, and my new life had just begun. Claire's closing monologue. I used to beg for love and belonging in a broken marriage, thinking tolerance and compromise would earn me peace. But I finally understood. Kindness to those who harm you is betrayal to yourself. The $8 million wasn't my salvation, my courage to walk away, to fight for justice, to lift up other women trapped in pain. That was my true freedom. My mother's legacy lives on in the scholarship and the women we help, and I'll spend the rest of my life being the safe harbor I once needed. If Claire's story of courage and redemption resonated with you, please smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with every woman who needs to know she's not alone and that she has the power to rewrite her own ending.